14th century Europe, a continent on the brink of monumental change. Amidst the flourishing of the High Middle Ages, marked by towering cathedrals, bustling markets, and the spread of universities, a shadow loomed ominously on the horizon. This was an era of remarkable achievements in art, science, and philosophy, a time when humanity seemed to be reaching for the stars. Yet unbeknownst to the millions who called this continent home, a catastrophic plague was about to descend. It would come to be known as the Black Death, a merciless invader that would reshape the course of history. As we journey back through the annals of time, let us explore how this devastating event unfolded, leaving a profound and lasting impact on the world. The Black Death, a plague of devastating proportions, began its journey in Asia. By 1347, it had traversed the Silk Road, reaching Crimea. This was just the beginning. As merchants traveled, the plague traveled with them, moving swiftly and silently. It wasn't long before the ships carrying goods also carried the unseen harbinger of death to the shores of Europe. City by city, the plague spread, its pace relentless, its impact unimaginable. Europe was on the cusp of a profound transformation, marked by this unyielding tide of calamity. The lifelines of medieval commerce, the bustling trade routes, now became conduits of despair. These paths, once teeming with merchants and travelers eager to exchange goods and ideas, unwittingly turned into highways of doom. Cities, the beating hearts of medieval society, vibrant with life and cultural exchange, stood on the precipice of a dire transformation. As the plague crept along these routes, it infiltrated city walls. The narrow, crowded streets of cities like Florence, Paris, and London, which had thrived in the High Middle Ages, were soon to witness scenes of unimaginable horror. Markets that once echoed with the sounds of trade and lively chatter were swiftly engulfed in a deafening silence, punctuated only by the cries of the afflicted. The very essence of these urban centers, their interconnectedness and bustling activity, which had been their greatest strength, now became their most tragic weakness. As the Black Death swept through these cities, it left in its wake a changed world. Streets once filled with the vibrancy of life now lay in the shadow of death, and the communities that had flourished there faced the ultimate test of survival in the face of this relentless scourge. The plague, a merciless killer, was caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis. It manifested in three lethal forms: bubonic, pneumonic, and septicemic, each more terrifying than the last. The bubonic form, recognized by its signature swollen lymph nodes or buboes, brought excruciating pain. The pneumonic variant attacked the lungs, leading to a swift and agonizing death by respiratory failure. The septicemic form, the most deadly, ravaged the blood, turning the skin into a canvas of blackened patches, a grim indicator of certain death. These symptoms were not only gruesome but also swift, leaving victims and their loved ones little time to comprehend or react. The plague showed no mercy, striking down the young and old, the rich and poor alike. In its wake, it left scenes that seemed to be drawn from the darkest of nightmares. The art of the time reflects this horror, with haunting images of suffering and despair that serve as a chilling reminder of the plague's ruthless grip on medieval society. In the face of this relentless disease, medieval medicine found itself woefully unprepared. The era's physicians, garbed in iconic beaked masks and long robes, became symbols of this desperate struggle against an invisible foe. These masks, filled with aromatic herbs like lavender and mint, were thought to ward off the miasma, the bad air believed to carry the plague. But this was a time of limited medical understanding, and the true nature of the contagion eluded the brightest minds. Bloodletting, leeches, and superstitious rituals were common, yet ineffective practices. Physicians could do little more than offer comfort, their treatments based more on guesswork and ancient theories than scientific evidence. As the plague ravaged communities, these doctors traveled from town to town, witnessing scenes of despair and death that would haunt them. Their efforts, though earnest, were akin to fighting a raging fire with mere whispers of hope. The plague laid bare the limitations of contemporary medical knowledge, highlighting the need for a deeper understanding of disease and its spread. It was a humbling reminder of humanity's vulnerability in the face of nature's might, a lesson that would eventually spur the evolution of modern medicine. As the death toll rose, mass graves became a common sight. The very fabric of society was under siege as fear and hysteria gripped the populace. The Black Death reshaped society. Labor shortages led to economic upheaval, accelerating the decline of feudalism and giving rise to a more modern employment system. Art and literature were forever changed. The macabre became a central theme, reflecting humanity's confrontation with mortality and despair. In the aftermath, Europe emerged transformed. The Black Death, a grim reminder of our mortality, was also a catalyst for change and renewal. The legacy of the Black Death echoes through time, reminding us of the resilience and adaptability of humanity in the face of unimaginable adversity. As we look back at this pivotal moment in history, we are reminded of the enduring human spirit. What lessons can we learn from the past as we face the challenges of our own time?